If you're not trying to go too crazy and looking for a fairly modest travel trailer with good sized bunk beds for the kids or any additional family members or friends you may have coming along with you, let's take a look at this. Come on. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Myles with Firmly Unbound, and we are here at Blue Compass RV today taking a look at this 2025 Grand Design Transcend 295 QBT. This is going to be a entry-level travel trailer, and you'll be able to see the floor plan layout and the specs on the screen. But with it being an entry-level travel trailer, it still has a lot of size here for what you're getting, which is going to make it a really competitive option for the amount of like space to cost difference that we're looking at here. Couple things, it's about 36 feet long, about 7,500 pounds. And this is going to be, because of the size, something I'd feel much more comfortable towing with a 3/4 ton truck like a 250 or a 2500. I know there's some people that are gonna look at all the specs on this model and see that it falls within line of what their half tons are rated to tow. And that's at your own discretion if you want to take that risk to tow something this size with a half-ton truck. I personally wouldn't risk it just because of the overall length, and especially when you get into like windier conditions and things like that. Even with my much shorter travel trailer and a half-ton truck, there's sometimes where I can feel the wind wanting to push me around a little bit, and I would feel much more unsafe with a travel trailer like this and a half-ton truck. So just something to consider. As we step inside here, you do have a 3-step solid step here for your entry. Also want to note that on these steps, they went to this latch system here to adjust the length of the legs, which is so much better than the pins that you have to pull out. So really glad to see that they went to that mechanism here on this Lippert solid step. So step inside, you have the tinted glass entry door. Open up the door here, and it does not have the shade already installed, so that shade is going to have to be added in additionally if that's something that you want, which most people likely will. And then as we step inside here, the camera is currently on the 1x setting, so we're seeing just kind of a, you know, more narrow scope here of the layout. But let's go ahead and widen things out a little bit so we can get a little bit more information in the frame. It does make the room look a little bit bigger than it may naturally feel, but definitely looks more true to how our eyes see things when we step inside of a camper like this. So you can see your kitchen set up here. You have your controls for this travel trailer right when we walked in. A little bit more of a contemporary look with some like traditional, maybe not even traditional, because the browns in here are more of like a grayish brown. So just kind of like a modern contemporary look in here. The light strips across the ceiling are also dimmable. So there is a dimming switch to dim those. And let's go ahead and jump right back to the bunk room first, since I forgot to close that door and keep it a surprise for y'all. And we have an L-shaped bunk here across the top. This is going to give you a really large sleeping surface here. This is going to be about at least 7 feet long here. I can't remember if these Transcends are 7 feet or 8 feet in width. It might actually be, I'm trying to think, because 7 feet would be, how many inches is that? That's like 80 inches, basically. No, 72 inches is 6 feet. So it'd be like 84 inches. It's got to be at least 84 inches long, if not longer. I didn't bring my tape measure with me. I wish I did, but gonna nonetheless be a very wide sleeping surface. And I understand I should probably know the exact width of these travel trailers. It's just something I don't have stored away in my brain yet. So if you know the exact width on this, let me know down below in the comments. And more importantly, let the audience know down in the comments, because you guys are just as much a part of this channel as I am to supply people with information that are looking for the information that you might be able to provide. 2 drawers here that open up. Great storage in this bunk room area, actually, because you also have the clothing rod here as well, so you can hang clothes. And then 2 more drawers down underneath here. Heat is running through underneath the bed. And then as I get into this bed space here, let's see how big this is. Oh yeah, even this here is right at about 6 feet long or so. Yeah, my head is not touching the wall, and you can see my feet are not hanging over, and I'm 6'1", so I would say this is at least at the very minimum exactly 6 feet, in case I'm maybe not stretching out all the way. So 2 huge sleeping surfaces here, with this one easily able to sleep 2 adults. Up top here going to be about at least 7 feet long there. So great sleeping spots. I will say that mattress, not very comfortable at all. Yeah, no, it's barely different than laying on the plywood there. So if a smaller kid is laying on here, I don't think it's going to bother them all that much. But I think anyone over probably at least like 120 pounds is going to start to feel like this is a pretty uncomfortable sleeping scenario. So it could just put a mattress topper on top of here, or you can upgrade the mattresses into space if you would like. The shades on the windows in here are going to be a pleated shade. So when we get up here, see the shades there, they do let in a little bit of light, but will still offer privacy at nighttime. You have an opening here, so just a vent and a fan to vent out that space. And then you have outlets and USB ports right there in the corner. It does have a USB Type-C and Type-A port in that space. And then the nice thing as well is when the kids or whoever's in the space need privacy or want privacy, or you're just annoyed with them, got to put them in timeout, whatever it may be, you can close that door there and close off that space. Then we have the sofa here. The sofa is also going to make into a bed, and the sofa sits directly across from your TV. Pretty comfortable sofa, a little bit more on the firm side, but definitely not too uncomfortable. You have your dining table here. It has the 2 legs in it. You can take those legs out and drop this table down, make it into a bed if needed. And then you have access to storage from these drawers right there. While we're looking underneath here, this is going to give us a chance to see that this is a wrapped door here on the cabinet. So that just basically means this material or decorative design that you're seeing here is a wrap material. Not a big deal. My travel trailer that I have has this. That just means that if any damage or anything like that occurs to it, it's going to scrape that wrap material off, and then there's not really going to be any way to fix it other than maybe just color it in with a similar shade of Sharpie or something along those lines. So it's not a solid hardwood door like some of the higher end travel trailers are, where it's a stained hardwood. You also have your pantry storage here on this side that has some deep shelves back through there. It's a good deep storage back through that space. Storage next to the TV, and this is a tinted glass cabinet door. It does have exposed hinges on the outside. And then this is a TCL TV. It's on a swivel mount, so you can move that around. And it's about a 40-inch, or probably 32-inch screen TV, sorry. JBL sound system, does have JBL speakers in the ceiling. And I say speakers, I actually only see a single speaker here in the ceiling there. 2 air conditioners on this travel trailer, so one here in the living area. I actually thought that I had it on. Let's see. Did I turn it off? I must have turned it off. Let's see. Ah, there we go. Kicks on. I have my generator with me, so we're able to get that on. Now, with the air conditioner, you might hear it. It's a little noisy. You can hear it blowing on the mic there. That's because this is open right now. If you close this, the sound is a lot quieter. Now, you may want to have that open at times to let just cold air dump straight into this area and cool it down quicker. But then obviously when you close it, it's going to send it through the ducting back here through the trailer. And this does not have dual ducting in this travel trailer. So what I mean by that is you only have like a single line of ducting going down this side, and you don't have anything going down this side here. And then same thing going into the bedroom, it just comes out of this side here and goes straight down that way. Nothing coming down this way. Your higher end trailers will usually have ducting going down 2 tracks there, so it just gets a little bit better airflow. But just kind of the characteristics of a little bit more budget friendly travel trailer. The sofa mechanism on this too is a little interesting. Basically, to make this into a bed, you just pull this out, and it is quite literally the easiest bed and sofa system I have ever seen. Look at how easy that was. I hope that every RV goes to this kind of sofa and bed contraption, because if you want to use this as the bed, that is so much quicker and easier. The fact that I was able to do that so easily with one hand is remarkable. And then if we want to get it back into the sofa position, let's see how this goes. Oh yeah, you just go like that right there. It's actually only my second time ever using this type of bed or sofa, so I was trying to recall exactly how it works. But it's literally that easy, y'all. It is the most efficient system there for dropping something down into a bed from a sofa. You have a French door style refrigerator there, which is definitely larger than a lot of other travel trailer refrigerators. And then your freezer portion with a little bit of storage down underneath here as well that has pet dishes in it. No oven in here, so curious your thoughts on that. No oven definitely allows for a lot more storage with these 2 drawers here. Traditional plywood drawer construction with staples to hold that in place. So curious your thoughts on going with no oven in here. Has a 3-burner gas stove, and then you have your standard RV size microwave that does have the air fryer built in as well, which is nice since they didn't give you the oven. Also has a vent fan down underneath there to vent out smells while you're cooking. And then you have a stainless steel sink in here. Nice symmetry in this area. If things don't look even in the camera, it's because this trailer is just not level whatsoever right now. But good storage around here. Magnet latches to hold your cabinet doors closed while you're going down the road. So your storage space through there and over here, all shelved out in that space. And then you have outlet here in the corner. It has a paper towel rod already built in. Another outlet in the corner there. Open storage down underneath here. Standard drawer. Looks like a spot for a trash can right there. Love that. Open storage through here. No individual shut-off lines on the water valves. Or no individual shut-off valves on the water lines. Goodness, said that backwards. And then your drawer. And that's pretty much everything in this space, although let me go over this real quick because I really do like this area. First of all, you can use it as like a little coffee bar space, or you can put cooking utensils here or cooking machinery here as it has the outlet there. And then you have good storage here. What I like about this is not only can you put shoes in this area, but you can also put anything you want quick access to without having to step through the trailer. Is your entry doors right here. So if you think like paper plates, silverware, plasticware, anything like that, you can easily get to it right here real quick, or maybe just any like tools or necessities that you want to easily be able to get to from inside or from outside, such as like your campfire equipment or stuff like that, lighters, all kinds of different things. So a good spot for all that quick storage stuff that you don't have to step all the way through the trailer to access. Controls for everything in the travel trailer are right here. And then you have hooks here going through the hallway. And as we step into the bathroom, pretty standard bathroom here. Nothing too crazy about this really. Medicine cabinet. Has a plastic sink here in the bathroom. Not too big of a sink or anything of that nature. Porcelain foot flush toilet. And this here is liquefied. Liquefied is a black tank treatment for your RV that you can find on Amazon. That is going to make sure that everything decomposes properly, that goes through your toilet, and that it drains out properly and keeps your RV smelling fresh. Got your clothing rod, not your clothing rod, your towel rod there. And then you have a smaller vent fan here in the bathroom. Sliding door here for your privacy going into the bedroom. And then ceiling height on here. Looks like it's not going to be great. Yeah. I'm standing at probably about 6'3" with my shoes on. And you're probably only going to be good for about maybe 6'4" in this shower with the skylight. The skylight is pretty needed if you're over 6 feet in general. Flexible shower curtain rod. Gosh, I'm just getting all my words mixed up today. It's just a shower curtain. I don't know why I threw rod in there. Tankless on-demand water heater. The AC is blowing real strong in here. That feels great. Then you can always twist these around to direct the airflow wherever you want that airflow to go. And then a little bit more storage down underneath here. You can see the shelved and the open storage. Finally, going into the bedroom, you have a sliding door here that will close for your privacy. Again, you can see the black pleated shades. Queen size bed here in the bedroom. And then shelved out storage on this side with a clothing rod on the other side and no shelves. You have that drawer here, and then you have a little laundry basket here that goes into the pass-through storage. Kind of a little unique idea. You have your outlets and USB ports. That's also a good little door if you want to have anything in the pass-through storage that you want access to from the bedroom. That's a good little spot that you can put stuff there. Storage underneath the bed. Cubbies on both sides of the bed, stacked behind the storage. Got your clothing rod in this space, another drawer, and then storage up above the bed as well. Nice little Grand Design logo. Then you have your second AC in here. More wardrobe storage. So you have the clothing rod there. A little shelf. And then 2 more drawers that will open up here. You can see there one of the track systems there for the drawer just needs to be reconstructed back together. Something that can happen in any RV as it's going, through transit and stuff like that. Doesn't happen too common, but definitely have seen it before. Little things like that may and likely will occur when owning an RV, so that's just something for you to be mindful of. Not a terribly big deal, but My job here, I think more than anything, or what I hope to aspire to do, is to level your expectations when it comes into RVing, not just make everything seem like it's all just great and dandy, because owning an RV is just like owning a home. It is not like owning a vehicle, where vehicles tend to be relatively low maintenance for the most part. An RV is built much more like a home than it is a car, so you're going to have a lot more of these types of things to fix, things that break, stuff like that, like you would in owning a home. And that's just kind of the reality of what comes with RVing. I think most people go into buying a home having completely set expectations that things are going to break and they're going to have to fix things. I think most people understand that, but for some reason with RVs, people seem to think that there's not going to be stuff that breaks, or there's not going to be nearly as many things as they would expect to break, which I don't know where that expectation comes from exactly, but I think it's just because people compare them to cars, but these things aren't built hardly anything like cars. The only thing that's even really resembles a car in an RV build and design is like the tires, rims, and axles. And that's about it. Literally everything else is much more on par to like, or just comparable to the construction of a home. So just something of 2 cents there to, again, I think just, I want to help level your expectations, because I don't want you to end up having a miserable experience with your RV simply because you bought it and didn't know what to expect. So I'm telling you, expect things to break. It's going to happen. And if you want to see more about that, I have my own RV, and on my channel here, I have a whole segment called RVs Are Junk, where on RVs Are Junk, I show you every single time anything goes wrong with my RV, anytime anything breaks, and then the stuff that I do to fix it or prevent things from going wrong to begin with. So make sure you look out for that on this channel here, as well as every single time I take out my RV, I do a new episode of RVs Are Junk and talk about anything that might have happened. Griddle cooktop here. Have nice storage through here. Not nice storage, sorry. Nice countertop there. Wow, oh my gosh, y'all. I'm getting towards the end of the day of filming RVs. And on days like this, I mean, I just film a bunch of RVs back to back to back. And gosh, the way my brain starts to like just jumble all these terminologies together is ridiculously crazy. I don't understand why it happens, but sorry you have to suffer through that. Got the JBL speaker outside. Your awning with the LED light strip underneath it that is not currently on. To get up on the roof on this one, you will need a retractable ladder that hooks in right there. The retractable ladder is nice because you can use it in so many different applications. Not so nice in the fact that you have to purchase it additionally with the camper if you want to be able to get up onto the roof with that. Big storage along the back, your spare tires back here as well. It's a 50 amp travel trailer. It has manual stabilizer jacks underneath here, fully enclosed underbelly, so that'll keep your water tanks and water lines warm whenever you have the furnace running. You have one slide out on this travel trailer, so not too crazy with that. Tankless on-demand water heater, single spot where all of your black and gray tanks dump out at, right there. And then it looks like we're gonna have our water connections inside this door. That is really nice. A lot of travel trailers in this class have the water connections and things like this outside exposed in the trailer. Love that all of this is inside the storage door, and then you can just run the water lines through that area right there. Solar disconnect and battery disconnect switch, you can turn those off whenever you need to either do something with the battery or just whenever you're leaving your trailer. You can just switch the battery disconnect switch so that it's not running power to the battery. But keep in mind, if you're like leaving your RV in storage or something like that, sometimes that won't kill 100% of the power. It's things like your gas detector and stuff like that. Those things might still be running even with the battery disconnect switch off. So it's best just to completely disconnect the battery up here in the main area here if you want to prevent any additional power being drawn from that battery. Up here, you do have a solar panel up on the roof. It's likely going to be a 180 watt solar panel there. And again, 2 air conditioners. Nice siding on here. This is aluminum siding, but it's more flush than what you see with like the Transcend Explorer. This is more of your like a traditional aluminum siding. Doesn't look nearly as good as this style of aluminum siding in my opinion, and I think in most people's opinions. And then you can see the wood framing here in this travel trailer, making this more of an entry-level trailer. You have the picnic table here, also got a little spider web developing there. Picnic table here that they install, which is really nice, having a good spot there for that to be stored away, and it comes with it. That's nice because in my trailer, in most people's instances as well, they just have to put the picnic table down flat on the ground because that's where it makes the most storage sense to put. And then you load everything else on top of it. So to get the picnic table out, you have to pull everything out and then get the picnic table out and put everything back in. So that's a much better mounting solution there that they give you on this Transcend. But let me figure out the price on this thing and then let's go ahead and get out of here. Price on this is going to be in that $30,000 to $40,000 price range, so it's going to be really modestly priced for the size of travel trailer that you're getting here. Again, it is an entry-level travel trailer, so have level expectations with that. It's not like the absolute best build quality you're going to find in any travel trailer out there. And if you want to step up to something higher in quality, there are other brands like the Grand Design Imagine over here, for instance, that is fiberglass sided and aluminum framed, that will step up in quality a bit from what this is here. But this will get the job done for a lot of different people out there, especially people just looking to weekend camp or do week-long camping trips here and there throughout the camping season. A great option. Curious what you think. Let me know down below in the comments. And that's all I got for y'all. Until next time, live firmly unbound.